It was almost the end of the school day, and, as usual, Tom was barely able to focus on his lesson. Making sure the teacher wasn't looking, he turned to look out of the window, and immediately something odd caught his eye. An old Polaroid photograph had been wedged corner first into the edge of the window frame and was gently waving in the breeze. Taking the photo carefully, Tom took a sharp intake of breath. The girl in the picture was absolutely stunning, easily one of the most beautiful girls he had ever seen. She was smiling, her eyes sparkling, and she was holding up a peace sign towards the camera. He knew he had to meet this girl. As class ended, he showed it around to other people in the class, but no one had ever seen her before. Heartbroken, he slowly trudged home and made his way inside. He even sank low enough to ask his sister, but again, she had never seen the girl. As he was getting ready for bed that night, Tom took one last glance at the photograph on the bedside table and climbed into bed with a yawn. In the middle of the night, Tom was awakened by a tap on his window, the gentlest of tapping, followed by a small, girlish giggle. Squeezing his eyes, Tom pulled himself out of bed and took some tentative steps towards the window. A shadow passed by his curtains, and he froze in fear for a moment, before gathering his courage and pulling the curtains aside. The giggling came once more from just around the corner, but then it was gone. The photograph began consuming Tom's thoughts. The next day he asked everyone he could if they knew the girl. None of his neighbours, his friends, his classmates, or anyone he passed on the street had ever seen the girl before. That night, Tom was startled awake by the tapping again, and the giggling louder this time. Grabbing the photograph, Tom dashed down the stairs and out into the night. The giggle came from the corner of his house, and he gave chase. He saw a shadow round the corner, long hair flapping behind it, and the giggling came again. He had found her. He was sure of it. Clutching the photograph to his chest, Tom ran around the corner and saw her, but only for a split second. What he had not seen were the bright lights of the car which careened into him. As he lay on the ground, blood pooling around his head, Tom's last sight was of the Polaroid, still held tightly in his hand. The girl in the photograph was still smiling that same enchanting smile. Only now, as she looked back at him, she was holding up 3 fingers.